Hello and welcome back to QU All Access. I'm Ryan Snyder.
And I'm Derek Lambert. In this week's episode, we'll take a look at some of the future changes in store for the Student Success Center.
And a draft hopeful shares his expectations for the upcoming baseball season. But first, QU students that receive MAP grants are still waiting for the Illinois budget to be finalized. QU All Access reporter Evan Powell has the latest on the MAP grant crisis.
Last Wednesday, the Quincy University Hawks Nest held a town hall meeting discussing the state of the MAP grant. President Gervasi, Tiffany Nolan, Sumitra Ghosh, Tim Weiss, and students attended. Gervasi stresses the importance of a college education.
That higher education, that college education, in the long run, and even for a lot of people in the very short run, is an extremely good investment.
Gervasi says that the Illinois politics are divided between the Democratic legislator and the Republican governor, Bruce Rauner, to finalize a state budget.
Senate Bill 2043, which requests that MAP funds be released, even though there is no official state budget.
Senate Bill 2043 was sent to Governor Rauner's office to be signed, but Rauner indicated he wouldn't sign it if the legislator didn't propose a finalized budget. Vice President of Academic Affairs, Sumitra Ghosh, explains to students what to do now.
What I would really encourage you to do is, if you have questions, go talk to financial aid, go talk to the business office. They have been working on this with students for a while now. They're prepared to continue to do so.
QU students are urged to talk to their parents and Quincy University about future plans. For QU All Access, I'm Evan Powell.
To see the town hall meeting in its entirety, check out and like the QU TV Facebook page.
The success coaches from the Student Success Center will have a new place to call home when students return from school after spring break. Big changes are being made, and each new renovation is aimed at benefiting students.
QU All Access sat down with the Director of Career Services to discuss the impact the success coaches have on the Career Services Center.
We've done a lot of career assessments. We then brainstorm on best ways to help that student move forward. So they brought a lot of traffic into career services, as well as, I think, helping to get students on the right path.
QU All Access also sat down with the Director of the Student Success Center to talk about the new renovations in the SSC. After a private donation, the center is looking to add new offices for the success coaches and a new classroom for students and campus groups.
The room is split 2/3 and a third. The smaller third will be for the success coaches, and each success coach will have an office, and then there will be like a kind of comfortable waiting area that will mimic what we do down here. The bigger room will be a classroom, but it also serves as a larger study area. Each of the walls will either have a dry erase wall or the plexiglass, so they can mimic. Once again, we can write on the walls down here, you can write on the walls in that room.
As you can see, dry walls are going up, paint is going on the wall, and furniture will be moved in soon, making a new home for the success coaches. For QU All Access, I'm Derek Lambert.
Every Monday afternoon, the success coaches host a discussion called the Success Series. These series give students an opportunity to speak with their success coaches on how to be successful college students. The discussions take place under the library in the Student Success Center and are open to any student. Success coach Donna Holtmeyer will tell us more about what is to be expected at these series discussions.
So we would talk about time management or study skills, how to read a textbook or those type of things. Some of the skills that maybe our students aren't very familiar with, or that they haven't had to use in high school, but now they're being asked to step it up a level.
More than likely, students have heard all about the new additions soon to come to campus with the recent Capital campaign. But in addition to the communication department has one professor very excited. Starting in the fall semester, a new minor will be offered by the communication program. A film and new media minor will be offered to students who are interested in more education in film. There will be two separate focuses for students to choose from. The first being theory, based on what focuses on the aesthetics and meanings of film. The second being production, which includes script writing, filmmaking, and animation.
I'm really excited for students to see film in particular in a brand new way. I teach a few film courses already, and now we have several more on the books with the addition of the program.
The program launches this fall. For more information, contact Professor Yates or talk to your advisor.
Coming up, we'll take a look at how Apple is fighting for consumer privacy.
And we'll have a weekly update on the presidential debate. Stay with us.
Galapagos, we went to a volcano and we climbed up to the top of it, and it was just something, it was so hard and so grueling, and at the middle of it I just thought it would be awful, and when we got to the top you could just see out everywhere, and it was just a very cool, unique experience. And it was really nice too because the teacher, he explained all the stuff, how it happened, and we just got to see everything from it there, and it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
It was a month long, and so we took 2 classes. Each class was about 2 hours a day. One was with Dr. Manning from Quincy, which was nice because we knew him already. So we took a contemporary ethics and politics class with him. And then our other one was with an actual teacher from the American University in Rome. And that one was cool because it was art. And so we traveled every single day. We got to see something new, stuff I probably wouldn't have seen otherwise. We went to churches, we went to museums, we went to the Coliseum a bunch. So it really, you know, it was kind of like a trip within a trip in that class.
It opened my eyes a lot more to that there's just still so much more to see. I want to go on more trips. I want to include, like in my career plan, I want to be in the medical field. I now want to go farther, and I want to do things in other countries so that I can see other things and kind of experience kind of the different lifestyles that I was able to see when I was in Ecuador.
I'd say do it. I know a lot of people tend to say, you know, I'll do it when I'm older, when I have more money, but I just feel like a lot of people would get caught up in their jobs and their lives and their families. That, I mean, when you're in college, it's a perfect time to go. And it's not too expensive. I mean, it's totally manageable. You can build it into your loans, or if you can work and pay for it, that sort of thing, just do it now.
When you go into the work field, there's only so many options for you to take off. And the thing is too, is you also have to go see your family. You have to go for Christmas vacation. You don't just go and get your time to do whatever you want. And there will never be another opportunity where it's set aside, where it's actually you're going for school, you're going for whatever. So unless you have a job and travel, it's gonna be so much harder for you to take the time to go and do this. And beyond that, it's gonna be so much harder for you to see all the things that you wanna see, because at other times you may have kids, you may have different things going on, but if you don't do it now, there won't be another option that is gonna make it as great of an experience as when you do it when you're young and you're able to see, you're able to still in good shape, you can do everything you wanna do.
I'd say explore it. I mean, research into it, look what you can do. I mean, you have a whole year ahead of you still, so you don't study for a whole year. I mean, I would definitely take the time to do it because this is kind of your last shot for college to do it. It's really eye-opening. You just get to see all these new cultures, and you know, you think there's more than just where I'm from and what I know. There's so much out there, and it kind of just makes you think about a worldview instead of just focus on your life view.
Welcome back. It is now time for the weekly presidential campaign update. New questions for Hillary Clinton's campaign arose after the latest CNN ORC poll suggested a very tight race for Democrats in Nevada.
Meanwhile, Senator Bernie Sanders is making a big push ahead of Saturday's caucus there, while Clinton's campaign hard for the minority vote ahead of South Carolina, where Saturday's preliminary will be the first held in the southern state. Joe Johns from CNN reports.
Tonight, a Democratic dead heat in Nevada.
When we stand together, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish.
Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton suddenly locked in a close battle with just 3 days to go until Saturday's caucuses.
Thank you, New Hampshire.
Sanders is trying to build on his momentum following a big win in last week's New Hampshire primary.
Everything in my political gut tells me that we have the momentum here in this state. That if people come out in large numbers on caucus day, we're going to win here in Nevada.
Underneath the Nevada numbers, though, some advantages for Clinton. She's seen as better able to handle foreign policy, immigration, and race relations, while Clinton and Sanders are more evenly split on the economy.
We're going to go out and we're going to convince people to caucus on Saturday. Then we're going on to South Carolina. Then we're going on to the March states. Then we're going to wrap up the nomination, and then we're going to win this election.
A Sanders victory in Nevada could upend Clinton's strategy to take command of the Democratic race as the primary fight shifts to states with more diverse electorates. In Nevada, 4 in 10 Democrats are non-white, and the state is also home to a heavy union presence. Both groups are crucial when it comes to winning the nomination and in the general election battle this November. Tonight, Clinton is keeping up her outreach to African-American voters, campaigning in Chicago with the mother of Sandra Bland, a Texas woman found dead inside a jail cell following her arrest last year.
My core emphasis and commitment was to knocking down the barriers that hold back African Americans.
A high-profile Sanders backer, the rapper Killer Mike, has stirred controversy over comments he made at an Atlanta rally Tuesday night, repeating what he said was a quote from a woman speaking about her support for Sanders.
A few weeks ago, and Jay said, Michael, a uterus doesn't qualify you to be president of the United States.
But the Clinton campaign is seizing on the remark, calling it disappointing.
Obviously, if the suggestion there is that Hillary Clinton is asking anyone to vote for her based on her gender, that's completely off base.
Killer Mike pushed back against critics in a series of tweets Tuesday evening. He said he would support other women in office, including Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren and Ohio State Senator Nina Turner, not just Hillary Clinton.
The nasty war of words among the Republican presidential candidates is getting even nastier. Now Donald Trump is threatening to take Senator Ted Cruz to court, and Cruz is daring the real estate Mongol to do just that. CNN's Sunland Surfati explains.
You can't lie about people like that. It's just incredible.
It's a dramatic escalation. Donald Trump and Ted Cruz's fight boiling over. Their war of words now being dominated by legal threats.
One of the things I look forward to most of all is deposing Donald Trump.
Cruz outright daring Donald Trump today, saying, "Go ahead, sue me."
So Donald, I would encourage you, if you want to file a lawsuit challenging this ad, claiming it is defamation, file the lawsuit.
At issue, this ad from the Cruz campaign, which attempts to paint Trump as being supportive of abortion rights, using a TV interview of Trump's from 1999.
I am pro-choice in every respect.
We cannot trust Donald Trump with these serious decisions.
Trump has said he has evolved on the issue and is opposed to abortion rights now. The Trump campaign slapping Cruz with this cease and desist order to try and stop his rival from running the ad.
I have to say to Mr. Trump, you have been threatening frivolous lawsuits for your entire adult life. Even in the annals of frivolous lawsuits, this takes the cake.
Trump today not backing down, laying into Cruz.
I'm pro-life, and he'll say I'm pro-choice. And I got a call from a reporter. I hear you're pro-choice. I said, who told you that? Cruz. Cruz. It's unbelievable. No, I'm pro-life. And I said to myself, how can a guy be so dishonest?
Marco Rubio echoing Trump's accusations against Cruz.
What we've seen in the last few weeks is very disturbing.
Also calling Cruz a liar.
Ted, unfortunately, has proven that he's willing to say or do anything to get elected.
Cruz firing back that Rubio is just taking a page from Trump's playbook.
Marco Rubio is behaving like Donald Trump with a smile.
The infighting within the top tier comes as Donald Trump is coasting above every other candidate in the polls. A new CNN ORC poll out today shows Trump with a commanding lead in Nevada, 26 points ahead of any other candidate.
Beyond belief, actually. Maybe I don't even have to go there and campaign. I don't know.
Meanwhile, Jeb Bush is still fighting for traction, feeling energized with his family's help, sharpening his attacks.
With all due respect, Senator Rubio, your 4 years or 5 years or whatever it is as senator does not match up to my capabilities of understanding how the world works.
But receiving a big blow today, losing out on the endorsement of South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley to Marco Rubio.
The candidates have been sharpening their attacks ahead of Saturday's Republican primary in South Carolina.
From future presidents to past, a 4-year-old in North Carolina can name every one of them by heart, and he also knows all the states and their capitals. CNN's Kristen Hampton talks with a smart little guy.
So, like, this president, that's
Washington.
That's pretty easy, though.
Everybody knows the very first president and maybe the last dozen.
Look what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm mixing them all up.
But there are about 30 or so guys there in the middle that don't have the most recognizable faces. I'm good if you do it in order or not.
Okay, so...
Unless you're 4-year-old Tommy Johnston.
This president is...
Millard Fillmore. If you're a little rusty with your presidential recall, no fear.
That is Millard Fillmore.
A 4-year-old is here to take you to school. Thomas Jefferson. James Madison. Garfield. are for Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Harry Truman. Tommy has been sponging up knowledge
Grover Cleveland
since before he was old enough to talk about it.
Whatever he can learn, he wants to learn. And we have to double check him sometimes because we don't think he's right. I'm about 0 for 10 on that.
Say 100 calculus. I'm getting really.
Are you getting bored?
No, I'm getting tired.
Tired of schooling you on just presidents?
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. But Pluto is not a planet.
Oh, why?
He used to be. He was the size of Neptune, but now he's shrinked.
Educational milestones for a 4-year-old suggest they should be able to name some colors and shapes. Tommy
What is the capital of Georgia?
Atlanta.
knows all the states
California. Sacramento.
and all their capitals.
Montpelier.
If you're wondering just how this guy got to be so smart, the answer is as simple as he is cute.
I want to know new things. Because they like everything.
Coming up, we'll take a look into next week's weather forecast.
And Evan Reed joins us with some helpful tips while living on campus. Stay with us.
Join me, Coach Marty Bell, head basketball coach of the Quincy University Hawks, live from Chicks on the River every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. or on ESPN 1440 for the Coach Marty Bell Show. Hear from our coaches and players as Ben and I recap the previous games and preview our upcoming opponents. Grab your friends and family and come out to Chicks on the River for a great meal and meet the Hawks. QU men's basketball, Chicks on the River, and ESPN 1440, a winning combination. And as always, it truly is.
It isn't a building. It isn't an arena or field. It isn't a classroom. It's a friendship. It's the bonds you form. It's an opportunity. It's the experience. It's a cute thing. Schedule your visit today.
Yes, growing up I had one deaf friend and that was the only deaf person I knew before coming to school here at QU. And now I regularly get to hang out and socialize with the deaf community, which has been awesome. Sign language isn't exactly like learning another spoken language because you use your body, facial expressions, your hands are your instruments. So it is definitely learning a new language. It has its own grammar and syntax and everything. It's not exactly like English like a lot of people think it is.
After the snowy Valentine's Day weekend, it now appears that the winter weather may be gone for the season.
I sure hope so, Ryan. I'm ready for shorts and t-shirts all the way. Lainey Wade now gives us the extended look into next week's weather forecast. Lainey?
Yes, the weather is going to be quite different from the last weekend to this weekend as we warm up. On Friday, the sun's going to be out bright and sunny with a high near 66. Then moving into Saturday, we go up a couple more degrees, partly cloudy with a high near 67. And then wrapping up our weekend on Sunday, the storm clouds are going to roll in and we have a chance of showers with a high near 56. But you can't complain with it being so warm. At least it's showers and not snow. Looking farther into the week, this is where we start our decline back down in temperature. But not to worry, nothing falls below freezing. On Monday, partly cloudy with a high near 45. Then on Tuesday, the sun comes out and it warms up just a little bit as our high reaches 48. Then on Wednesday, the clouds roll back in and we drop back down to 45. And then on Thursday, the clouds are going to stick around the area and it's going to make it a little colder than normal with the high only reaching 38. That about wraps it up for this weekly Hawks forecast. I'm Lainey Wade. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Lainey. Apple CEO says the company opposes a judge's order to help the FBI break into one of the San Bernardino's shooters' phones.
That's right. Apple's saying that the order is, quote, an overreach by the U.S. government, unquote. CNN's Scott McLean reports from Washington, D.C. on a case that ultimately make its way to the Supreme Court.
For investigators in the San Bernardino terror attack, getting into the minds of the shooters means getting into their phone. More than 2 months later, they're still locked out by a simple passcode.
It is a big problem for law enforcement armed with a search warrant. At San Bernardino, very important investigation to us. We still have one of those killer's phones that we have not been able to open.
A judge has ordered Apple to help the FBI hack into that phone, an order the company is opposing. In a public letter, CEO Tim Cook says the order would create a backdoor to the iPhone, something too dangerous to create, a position he's made public before.
If you put a back door in, that back door's for everybody, for good guys and bad guys.
But Apple is up against the FBI and the Justice Department, both with the backing of the White House.
They're simply asking for something that would have an impact on this one device.
But Cook says that's not the case, writing that once created, the technique could be used over and over again on any number of devices, exposing Apple customers to hackers and cyber criminals. He's also warning this would create a precedent that could be extended to force Apple to help government spy on its customers. Apple is calling for a public discussion on the issue that may ultimately end up before the Supreme Court. In Washington, I'm Scott McLean.
It's that time again for QU All Access Weekly Hacks.
Reporter Evan Powell joins us in the studio for the latest. Evan?
Life a little easier, one hack at a time. If you ever lost a string on your hoodie, athletic shorts, or sweatpants, you know it's not easy to restring them. In a short few steps, you can make your clothing look new again. The drawstring in clothing can easily be pulled out from a washer, dry, or by accident. Threading the string back into the clothing is the difficult part. One way to rethread the string is by inserting it into a drinking straw, then to staple the straw and string together. Once that is done, you can insert the straw through the string hole and easily push it through to make your clothes look new. This hack comes from lifehacker.com. Studying and taking tests in college are not easy tasks, especially because of the free time students have compared to the time they had in high school. This can lead to procrastinating and bad test grades. According to HuffingtonPost.com, studying in groups, more sleep, and alternating your study places can improve your test-taking skills. When you study in groups, this allows for you to understand material better for picking up ideas from others, sharing notes, and by dividing the subject into specific areas. Another thing that can help is getting more sleep, because a tired mind is also a slow mind. Sleep is a vital aspect of your daily life, and the more sleep you get, the easier it is on your mind to work and to think. Also, where you can study can also play a big factor on your test scores. Alternating study places can be very helpful for your studying skills, because memory is centered by location. If you study a certain part of your study guide in a different location, it'll increase the likelihood of remembering what you've learned. Saving money as a college student can be one of the hardest things to do. Spending money on food, hobbies, books, supplies, transportation, and other things can really drain funds quickly. Spending money on food is inevitable, but there are cheaper and more efficient ways to do so. According to collegescholarships.org, cooking on your own meals can save you a lot of money compared to having a school meal plan or going out to eat at restaurants regularly. Buying food in bulk is also helpful to your wallet. Another thing that can help you manage your money is collecting receipts for everything you spend, which will allow you to create a budget. This budget will visually show you what needs to be spent compared to what you want it to be spent on. Another big component to spending is transportation. Carpooling and using public transportation like the shuttle can save you a lot of money in the long run. Thanks for watching this week's Hacks. Make sure to tune in next week for more, exclusively on QU All Access. Back to you, Ryan and Derek.
Thanks, Evan. Carly is next with the latest in sports.
Stay with us.
QUTV is more than a news outlet.
1 in 5 undergrads work at least 35 hours a week, year-round.
Students involved with QUTV learn life lessons, create lasting memories, and gain the experience needed to succeed in future careers.
Students need to be involved with QUTV as a viewer or as a participant because we need to know what's going on around our campus.
Knowledge is powerful, and QUTV News serves to inform not only the students, but the Quincy University community as a reliable and powerful news network.
Come support your Quincy University baseball team this season. The Hawks compete in the NCAA Division II Great Lakes Valley Conference. Cheer them on as they play for a conference and national championship.
Come see the new renovations at KU Stadium. The turf infield gives the Hawks a great playing surface.
Come out and have some fun and support the KU Hawks baseball team this season.
For more information on the KU Hawks baseball team, go to QUHawks.com and click on the Sports tab and select Baseball.
Welcome back. Carly Betancourt now joins us for sports. Carly?
Thanks, guys. Well, there's a lot of buzz coming up. There's a lot of buzz about the baseball team and their upcoming season. I decided to sit down with one of their key players, first baseman David Jacob, and get some insight into his career and the upcoming season.
David Jacob has been a key player for the Quincy baseball team, especially after his season last year, finishing with a batting average of .394, 51 RBIs, 7 home runs, 12 doubles, and 2 triples. After his sophomore season, he not only caught the eyes of fans, but of potential pro teams, making his junior season even more important.
In terms of going pro, I've had about 5 or 6 teams contact me. I just had to fill out questionnaires right now. Coach Raby said that there's probably going to be scouts at a bunch of the games, so all I know is I just got to play my game and just don't worry about that and just have fun.
Jacob also mentioned the shoes he had to fill with the big leaders graduating.
This year we lost a lot of good leaders, such as Gordy Gundaker and Peter Cunningham, so I kind of had to step into that role and kind of take the younger guys under my wing, and along with me and Ryan Snyder, it's sort of kind of show the young guys the ropes and kind of show them how this program works.
With the senior leadership and talent returning to the team, the Hawks are looking forward to an unforgettable season. For QU All Access, I'm Carly Betancourt.
The men's and women's basketball teams took on Wisconsin Parkside February 13th in Pepsi Arena. The women celebrated their annual Creating Memories night as they greeted the winner with a team picture and applause. The Lady Hawks capped their night off with a close win over the Rangers 70-67. Maggie Cunningham led the team with 21 points, with Annika Webster right behind her with 17 points. Erin Menemeyer chipped in 14 rebounds to clinch the win. The Lady Hawks are now 11-4 in conference. Moving on to the boys, unfortunately, it was a different story. The Hawks fell in overtime to the Rangers 108-107. The Hawks, now 10-5 in conference, were led by senior Evan McGaffey, who had a double-double with 22 points, 13 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 steals. Both teams gear up to play Rockhurst in Kansas City, Missouri, and then on to William Jewell in Liberty, Missouri. The men's volleyball team flew to Arizona to clinch their first MIVA win over host Grand Canyon. Going into 4 sets, the Hawks fell in the first, but gathered together and took the next 3. The Hawks had 3 players in double figures, senior Ian Lawson leading the way with 14 kills, a team-high 12 digs, and 2 aces. Senior Jack Gamache added 13 kills, 7 digs, and 4 aces, and also senior Chris Chappelle had 10 kills, 6 digs, and 5 blocks. The Hawks return to Pepsi Arena February 19th to take on McKendree.
Thanks, Carly. Coming up, we'll take a look into our producer video pick of the week. We'll be right back.
Well, my first thought was, Brother Ed has set us up. He's got someone hiding in there. They're getting ready to jump out of the curtain and scare us, but yeah, there was no one else there, and I couldn't explain it. It's just one of those phenomenons.
I've always been a skeptic, and I've always thought that there was a rational explanation for all things like that, but being there when that all happened, we didn't have a rational explanation for why that happened.
There it was.
Did you hear it?
Oh my
Can I hear it?
Oh gosh, wait, did you see that?
Welcome back. It is now time for our producer pick video of the week.
That's right, Derek. This week we'll look into how One Sonic is going biblical. There's a restaurant in Missouri that is serving its burgers with a side of scripture verse, and that has some customers offended. CNN's Josh Helmuth explains.
The Drive-In. Classic Americana as old as the cheeseburger itself.
Hi, I would like a number 1.
But this Sonic at Madison and Pine is a little different from all the rest because of these stickers with Bible verses attached to their orders. Some customers turn to Facebook to vent. One customer saying, "Thanks for the sermon, where are my cheese sticks?"
How's it going?
After after a short wait following our order, we were hoping to see the stickers for ourselves.
I don't see a sticker.
But no luck. Management couldn't give us an interview, but they did show us the stickers. They're a new tradition they've just recently started now that they can't print Bible verses on receipts like in years past. All surprising considering Sonic isn't a known Christian-based company such as Hobby Lobby or Chick-fil-A. We spoke with Sonic Corporate, who confirmed that while they're a public company, franchisees are allowed to do their own thing.
We don't have a policy backing this. It's the decision by the franchisee that owns and operates that specific drive-in.
So some customers are enjoying the food for thought.
Hasn't bothered me a bit.
Why?
Because everyone needs to have God in their life.
Others, not so much.
Why would you go to like a Sonic and be like, hey, here's the Bible verse to go with your, cheese sticks? I mean, like, that's kind of weird.
Either way, this Sonic in Raytown has people talking.
It's a little bit interesting that some companies have free reign to do that. What do you guys agree with that decision or not?
I think it'd be kind of good if I could get a Bible verse with my milkshake. I could probably skip church on Sunday, so that's what I'm going with.
I think maybe they should make it like McDonald's. If you want the toy, you can have it. If not, pass.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Carly. If you want it, it's there. If you don't, no big deal.
And that's our take of the week, so take with it or leave it. Thank you all for joining us in this week's episode of QU All Access. Remember to tune in online on Facebook or Channel 97 on campus for more news anytime. For the entire All Access team, I'm Ryan Snyder.
And I'm Derek Lambert. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon, Hawks.